What's up? So we are going to start with foam rolling. We're going to perform a full body functional strength training day today. So today's actually day 1 of a phase 4 program from Mike Wells Training. We're in week 2. I am in week 2, actually probably week 3, but I'm going to go week 2. So I'm going to do the week 2 reps, which in this phase the reps are a little higher. They're over 10 reps, 10 to 15 reps, and they progress in numbers each week. And then we'll do a phase after that, which will be low reps and higher weight. So every 3 to 4 weeks, change those load types and intensity. So going from low intensity high reps or medium intensity high reps to high intensity low reps schemes every 3 weeks. And then getting a push-pull squat, a push-pull squat and hinge in each workout with core, and then changing the different exercises each workout and each day. So you're not doing the same thing, but you are hitting the same movement patterns, which are really important. Okay, so we're gonna start with foam rolling. We're gonna try to only take 10 minutes. You can use a foam roller, or I have this is the orb ball. I'm gonna start with my calves because the foam roller for me just isn't hard enough anymore. A lot of people say that foam rolling doesn't do anything. I took that stance for a year after foam rolling for 10 years, and then I ultimately went back to foam rolling. So you can do your own research on what it does, but for me, it definitely feels better after. You feel like you can move a little bit quicker. For some reason, I feel lighter on my feet. There's definitely spots that you find that are tight that you didn't even know, was tight, or you didn't know there was an issue there, but kind of sitting and standing all day, your muscles kind of get bound up. Okay, and we're not untying knots or anything, but we are stimulating the Golgi tendon organ, which does help the muscle relax, and that is researched to temporarily do that. Now, depending on the amount of times you've done this, it's gonna get better each time you do it, meaning you're gonna get better at foam rolling each time you do it. You don't want to spend more than 10 to 15 minutes before a session unless you have some real serious issues you're looking at, because you can take up a little bit too much time doing this. So it's really important that if on your off days and every single day that you do this by itself without training. So stretching, foam rolling, walking, those would be 3 things I would advise everyone to do every single day. So this side's a little bit tighter, so I might spend a little bit more time on it, especially on the outside, what we call the perennials. You have a perennial, brevis, longus, I think, in there. I broke my fibula, so that muscle on that side definitely feels thicker and stronger. So leaves it feeling a little bit tighter. All right, now we're gonna go for the hamstrings. Again, the foam roller for me is too soft. I either have to sit on a bench to do this, but I'm gonna show you doing it seated here. So going for all the hamstrings, from the hips to the knees. Sometimes you can go side to side, or you can go up and down. You can sit on an area and hold. You can do what is called isometric ramping, where you kind of relax the muscle into the area, and then you squeeze the muscle into the roller. So it's a technique from Kin Stretch. Getting the hamstrings here. From knee to hip. Sometimes going side to side. Honestly, the best way to do this for me is on a bench. I feel it a little bit better when my knee is bent, actually. From here, I'm gonna move to the lower back, and I'm gonna use the roller for the back since it's more broadly distributed. And I'm gonna go one side at a time. Starting with my right side. Kind of right below the ribs and right next to the hip area. Now, if you're older or you have a low bone mineral density, this could be hard on your ribs. Go low back, arms extended. And now I'm going for the upper back. And I'm gonna go side to side, elbows together. And then flex, extend. Inside of the thighs, the adductors, from knee all the way to hip. Notice that I kind of rotate from external to internal, or I can just go neutral here. You can get areas all in the quads as well, and the insertion points, or the origination points of the tendons, which start at the midline, or the center of the body. See, I'm kind of cheating, trying to get more in my quads. You know, my quads are tight if that's the case. Again, this is more of an assessment, more than anything, I think. You know, what adductors are tighter, what hamstrings are tighter, what calves are tighter. These are all good things to know before you begin to move. Really asking yourself, what is the density, the muscle density of the tissue? Is it low? Is it high? You feel like it feels weak? Does it tickle? I mean, these are all kind of things that your trainer or coach can kind of help you understand. Now we're gonna get the quads. From knee to hip. You can go 2 at a time, or you can go 1 at a time. You can also use the ball for this. And then you can get your TFL, the muscle located next to your pocket, and your side glutes. Again, that's your TFL, tensor fascia lata, which is located next to your pocket, and then your glute medius. This quad is definitely tighter. go on the outside of the quad. It's not a T, it's not, I mean, there's no, you can't foam roll your IT band because it's just a band. It's not a muscle. But you can get the edge of your quad. And that's usually what people feel. It's not their IT band. Actually, it's still your quadricep. I mean, your quadricep isn't going anywhere. That IT band is just a band. It's kind of like a zipper on your side where all the kind of fascia meet. And there's actually a divot. So, I mean, if there was a muscle, it would actually protrude, but it's not. So that's my glute med here, right here. And I actually think I forgot to do my quad or my glutes. So sitting on it, crossing the leg over. And where are we at time-wise? We're at 11 minutes. So we're a little over, but I think I did a little talking before we started. So we're on task here. Okay. You can also straighten the knee and get the glutes. And you can also just stack the knees for the glutes. It feels a little better when you cross over. And again, for me, just not gonna do it. I have to use an orb, which is good. If it can handle higher density, that's good. But at the same time, you have to be careful because you don't wanna do something that'll injure yourself. So you still have to be very aware when you're rolling with something that has higher density, not to do any damage. That's why the more you do this, the more you'll know what to do. But the less you do it, the more it looks kind of dumb and silly. But athletes and Olympians that do this, well, they get massages, right? Not all the time. They have to learn how to do it themselves, just like everybody else. But when they get massages, they find out where those areas are. That's the benefit of getting a massage, right? You're like, oh, that's my tight spot. Can you work in that area a little bit longer? Oh, it feels much better, thanks. Oh, it's back. What do I do? Well, obviously you can foam roll it and roll it out yourself, which is a good idea. Or you can perform some mobility exercises or some stretching or some strength exercises that might change the position or posture that's causing the issue. So you have to look at it as there's many approaches to get range of motion. It's not just one, it's not just foam rolling, it's not just stretching, it's not just strength exercises. So, mobility training isn't necessarily gonna increase mobility because if you lose strength from not doing strength training, you might not have the muscles capable of doing the mobility training, or you start to work, you kind of lose muscle for the sake of range of motion. So you have to make sure that you're getting everything, not just mobility training, not just yoga, right? Because in yoga, you can't pull, you're not doing any pulling exercises. So you're not getting any posterior chain exercises. You're not doing any axial or offset types of loading that, trigger hormonal response of training, which is needed to increase muscle mass, right? So we know that working within rep ranges changes muscle size. Obviously, high intensity and high load is going to maximize hypertrophy. So if you're always using body weight, such as a yoga class, you're going to be you're going to plateau. So that's why most athletes, if you're an athlete, will also do strength training, not just one thing. Let's see. So So after this foam rolling, we're gonna stretch. So if you wanna do a stretch with me, get ready. You're probably not doing this. You're probably like, what's he doing? He looks like a fish out of water. But I don't wanna miss anything. I'm now getting my posterior deltoids. Your deltoid is just one muscle, but it has 3 areas: side, back, and front. And it's shaped like a triangle, that's why it's called deltoid. Delta means triangle. Let me get this side again. I think I got this side, but. All right, so now we're gonna perform our stretches or mobility. This should take about 5 minutes. All right, we're gonna start with the 90-90 stretch. So noticing that my knee is the 90 degree, back knee is 90 degrees, and I have a 90 degree angle where my femurs are in this position. Almost look like I could fit like a nice square right here. Then from here, this knee is lined up with the front foot. I'm going to kind of anchor my hands down and then hinge forward over the knee. And find that deep stretch and hold with your back straight. And we're thinking about inhaling for 4, exhaling for 8. So I'm blowing out candles. You can get the other side. Just focusing on your breathing while you're stretching, nothing else. Probably the most important place to breathe is in your stretches. So if you're not breathing in them, or you're skipping that thought, then you're not actually gonna get any progress. Because your body has to, relax in order to get this position. If it doesn't trust you, then it won't get there. From here, I'm gonna move into internal hip rotation or hip extension here. I'm gonna rotate back. I should feel more of a capsular stretch in the hip as I rotate back. Try not to go into any pinching or pain. I'm gonna hold here again, about 3 to 5 inhales and exhales. When you exhale like you're blowing out birthday cakes. All right, switching side. Rotating back, trying to get this back shoulder toward that back heel. All right, from here, quadruped hip rock. So in the hands and knees position, I'm gonna sit on my ankles, which are dorsiflexed. Toes are dug into the ground. And then I'm going to posterior pelvically tilt my hips. Anterior pelvically tilt my hip. Posterior pelvically tilt my hip. So that's basically sit down, arch your low back, and then go back to that quadruped, squeeze the glutes. So sit down, arch the back, squeeze the glutes, and round the back. Okay, so about 5 to 8 reps there. Now we're going to go into tall kneeling head nods and turns. So tall kneeling, this is the kneeling position. Just be tall kneeling. I'm gonna squeeze the glutes. When I'm in here, I'm getting a hip flexor stretch because once I'm in hip extension, I'm lengthening those flexors. So I'm gonna squeeze the hips. I'm gonna do some neck rotations, squeezing the fists as well. Gonna look down, rotate, look over the shoulder, look behind and above the shoulder, up toward the ceiling. Look over the other shoulder, toward the wall. Look all the way down. One more time. Rotate, bend, extend. Rotate, bend, flex down. Now 2 rotations the other way. Keep those glutes engaged. Squeeze the fists. Only moving the neck here. From here, we're just gonna look right to left. Trying to get the chin over the shoulder. Good. From here, quadruped rib roll. So we're going to sit on the ankles, point the toes this time. We're gonna bring our elbows toward our knees. And then we're gonna take one arm and hold on to the opposite lat or rib cage or armpit, whatever you can get to, or chest. And then from here, I'm gonna rotate up toward the sky or toward the ceiling. Look up. I'm going to look in the direction where I'm trying to rotate. Then I'm going to hold my hand behind my head, get an external rotation stretch as well, my shoulder. I'm gonna hold and breathe, 3 inhales, 3 exhales here. Okay, and then I'm gonna switch side. Here we go. Make sure that you're trying to hold those stretches and breathing into them. Because if you're not doing that, then it's almost pointless. Downward dog. We're gonna go hands and knees. Spread those fingers. Use the whole hand, don't just curl the fingers. And then we're gonna bring those hips up, heels down, head through the shoulders. There's gonna be a calf stretch. And you can also bend the knees. You'll feel it in the ankles. This is a good one for your soleus, gastroc, Achilles. The challenge is trying to get those heels down. All right, from here, we're gonna go to our standing ankle mobility. So I'm gonna set the camera up so you can see where I'm gonna go. All right, so using any type of, let me get this, any type of barrier, such as a wall or squat rack. What you're gonna do is push into the squat rack. One foot is forward. You're gonna put all the weight into that front foot, so I'm barely on this back toe. And then I'm gonna bring my knee over the toe. I'm gonna feel that in my ankle. I'm gonna push into the barrier so I don't feel it in my knee. If you do feel it too much in the knee, this might be too much for you. But I'm pushing into the barrier. As I move forward, I'm also pulling that toe toward the shin kind of flexing that muscle on the front side so I can go deeper into that stretch. And then switching side after about 5 to 8 rocks. Remember, all that weight is on the front leg. And I'm also using my hands here, push into the barrier. Exhaling as I go forward. And pulling that toe toward the shin. Good. All right, so that's my ankle mobility. Next is standing leg swings, okay? You usually need a good wall space for this one. It's an ankle mobility drill. We're gonna cross over the leg and foot and swing the leg open. The bottom ankle is actually what we're working on, stability and mobility of that ankle. So if I'm holding here, I'm gonna kick through. I'm trying to keep my arch that's down on the ground. That's the mobility of the ankle component. Okay, switch, after about 8. Woo, get a little sloppy there at the end. All right, whew. Next one we're gonna perform is our warm-up. So we're gonna go into our dynamic warm-up. For that, I'm gonna have to use a little bit more space in the gym. So I get you set up here. And a sip of water. All right, so knee to chest, don't flex the spine here, pull, bottom toe, points into the ground. Okay, next one, leg cradle, so it's like a standing pigeon. Knee, foot, pull. Knee, foot, pull. Heel to butt is next. Okay, reverse single leg deadlift. Okay, linear or pogo bounce. I think it's just 2-leg jump side to side. Forward. Woo. Linear skip. High knee, step over. Woo. I don't like that one. back pedal and backward run. So back pedal, we'll go wide, slightly, knees are bent, and get low. And then staggered will be our run. Like you're about to catch something in the air. Woo! Okay. So we have a stepping chest pass, one leg overhead slam, and a box jump. Problem is the baby's sleeping, so I'm gonna do a squat jump. No, we're gonna do a box jump and a lateral bear crawl is what we're gonna do. All right. So, you don't need a super big box, you know. It can be 6, 12, 24 inches. You don't need to go over 36. We're gonna actually do 10 jumps since we're skipping the slams, and then we'll do our lateral bear crawl. Good combo. Power and core, really good combo. So we'll take a minute break because you don't want to run out of fuel. Your body has to recharge. All right. Get ready. Don't wait too long. Get this clock on. That's what I do. Whew. Might add in lateral hop there. So you could do lateral hops as well. What do you think? Let's go ahead and get this ready. 30 more seconds and we'll start. We're gonna do 2 power jumps, 5 box jumps, 3 hops on each side. That's a nice little power set before we do our strength. Whew. Oh my Lord. Alright. So now we have kettlebell swing, leg lower progression, half kneeling band pull apart with a 2-2-2 tempo. Alright, but I might add in some other stuff. Got our kettlebell swing. We have our leg lower progression. I believe we're doing 12. Feet are shoulder width apart. Start with the swing hinge. Squeeze the glute. Leg lower progression. Basically leg lower with the band. So for that, you really want to exhale long and hard when that leg is going down eccentrically. Then we got band pull apart. Half kneeling, so that would be pod 1 or tricep 1. And we're gonna repeat that. I may add something different for the back exercise. But, I mean, you gotta do what the program says. Oh, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. I forgot about that. So, kettlebell swing. Not sure if I did the tempo or not. Looks like I'm needed on baby duty. So I'm gonna do 2 sets of each and then make it a day. You can also add a set if you're even doing this, probably not. No, that's okay. Body weight, rear foot elevated split squat, continuous alternating dumbbell bench, and side plank row is next. Body weight, rear foot elevated. Side plank row is next. So that's tricep number 2. We're gonna show you a superset or a bicep, alternating X pull down and body saw. Okay, that would be pod 3 or strength exercises 3AB. Okay, so we went over first pod. We did 2 sets of kettlebell swing, leg lower progressions, half kneeling band pull apart. Second pod, or 2A, body weight, rear foot elevated split squat, continuous alternating dumbbell bench, side plank row. Now we're doing alternating X pull down and a body saw. Pull down's a 1-1-2 tempo. So X pull down, make an X. 1, 1, 2. 1, 1. Last is the plank saw, pod set number 3. Get some sliders or towel on hardwood, forearm plank, and you're gonna saw it. Let's get this out of the way. So that would be pod 3, and then conditioning is either a bike sprint 20 on, 10 off, or a sled pull push 10 yards up and down times 4. Whew. Good luck if you're doing it. If you're not doing it,